Hi there, this is Judy with Paper Palm Treat, and this is the project I have for you today. This is a diagonal fold treat bag, and I have made a little paper clip. I slid it there, so you take that off, and inside are two chocolate Hershey Nuggets. And with this fold, you can put a little note on the front. You could even put a piece of the flatter chocolate, like Ghirardelli chocolate, in the back there, but I have put my little business card back there. And this is a really easy, fun little fold, and let me show you what I used to make this. Okay, I have a piece of 6x6 Designer Series paper, and this is from the Spooky Nights collection, and it is a double-sided, very, very cute paper. And that is all we need for actually the folded part, because everything's just scored and cut on that. But to do this little note and for the witch's hat, I have just a small piece of black, because this is the stamped hat on the front, and then I just mirrored it just to put something on the back, and I have a piece of fun foam that I cut to put in the middle of that. And so for this, I have a piece of Whisper White for that. So I also need a paper clip for the witch's hat. Okay, so to make these folds, I have pre-folded it, but I'm going to show you how I did this. And you're going to line this imaginary line this way on 4 1/4. Okay, so from that 4 1/4, that is your center line, and you could mark that, but I didn't want that scored line on there, so I haven't. But from that line, I want to go 1.5 inches that way and 1.5 inches that way. So that ends up being, let's see if I can find it right there. So there's 1 inch and there's 1/2. So this left score line will be at 2 3/4. So you're going to go down and score that. Score that down the line. Here we go. Okay, and so for the right hand, you're going to go, this is 4 1/4 here at the center, so 5 1/4 plus 1/2, so that makes it 5 3/4. So I will put the dimensions so you'll see that, but you're going to score down that. And because I want the hats to be on my outside, I've turned it over, and that folds there and there. Okay, so we're gonna turn it to the long side here, and this again is at the 4 1/4. And I'm going to make a score line there, flip it over, and I did the same thing there. And that is going to be folded in half that way. Let me get my bone folder. And then I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch down. So, so if I've lined this up at 4 1/4, I'm going to go at 3 1/2, 3 1/2, turn it over, and I'm going to do 3 1/2 there. Okay, let me see if I can make some sense out of this. All right, so when you fold that up, that will be that way. You're going to fold it up that way, and this is what the end result's going to be. It's going to almost be like you know how you have a tea bag that has, you know, one on each side, so it's going to make a W here. So the center fold is your center line, and then from the center line out is 3/4 of an inch. All right, I hope I'm not making that harder than it needs to be, but anyway. Okay, so I need the place for the witch's hat to go in there, and I'm going to take my trimmer, make sure that's lined up right there, And I'm going to find a spot, and you don't need it very wide, just enough to be able to get the paper clip in there. So let me straighten up the box. So right about there. And I'm going to go back and forth just a couple times, making sure it's going through both layers. And that is where this paper clip can slide in, just like that. Okay, so that makes sense. And so I will show you how I make the hat and this little note insert that I've done. Let me show you how I put this witch's hat together. I'm going to take a piece of Whisper White and I need two things off of this. I need the hat and the buckle, and I'm going to stamp it in basic black. Put that on a C block. Ink it up. Okay, and I'm going to go straight down. Hold it a few seconds. Ah, there we go. Very good. Nice rich black on there. I like it. And for this little buckle, I'm just going to use an A block. It's a little small one. And I'm going to go with pumpkin pie. And I'm going to pull this close to me because I have to line that up, so it's hard for me to see it. There we go. So I'm going to fussy cut around this, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got the hat fussy cut, and I have done another piece of black that is the mirror image of it for the backing, and then I have a piece of fun foam that I'm going to glue, and then I have cut out a little place for the paper clip to be glued in there, so it will go like that. And that will glue on top of that. So I'm going to use E6000 on this because this is a jewelry in bead and I need that metal to hold in there. So I'll glue this and I'll be right back. Okay, there's the witch's hat. And the last thing that I wanted to share is how I did this little insert. So I'm going to take a piece of vanilla, and I'm going to go with the pumpkin pie again. And this time I'm using, from the Spooky Cat, this stamp, and then I'm going to put Trick or Treat in there. Okay, so I'm going to mount this stamp on a D block, because it's a little bit bigger than my C. Ink that up. That's in pumpkin. And I'm going to go right about there. Perfect. And the last thing is the Trick or Treat. That's going to be in black. And I'm going to pull this close because I want this to line up in that center there. Very good. All right, I'm going to pull out my trimmer. I'm going to just trim this up just a little bit to be able to fit in there. And right about there. Let's see. That's about right. So let me see. The dimensions are 2.5 by 1 3/4 on that. And the last thing I'm going to do on this is I'm going to take my favorite crumb cake, and I'm going to just go around the edges on this with my sponge. Kind of age it up a little bit. Just like that. Okay, so this is still wet, but let me tell you with this one, I just took one of the wider, not the skinny writable ones, the Sharpie that has that wider tip, and went around the edges where that white showed, because I didn't like the white showing. But, you know, once somebody's, you know, taken the treat and gotten the nuggets off of it, and I did glue the nuggets down in there like that, but you could use this in your planner, or just use it in your planner, wherever you want it to be. But I love these little paper clips. I have all kinds that I trade out when I'm doing holidays and different things on my planner. So so this would go on the little pocket on the front, and again, you can use the back for another piece of chocolate or another note, and this will go through both of those slots. And where'd the other one go? Here it is. So this will go in here, and that's still wet, so I want to be careful with it. But all right, so that's our little treat, diagonal treat, and you can do all kinds of things with this, but I like it with the little nuggets in there. It's just a little something that you can give to a friend. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you'd hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more from me, if you'll subscribe to my channel. And any of these Stampin' Up! Products that you would like to have, and if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd be thrilled to be your demonstrator, and you can go to my website, paperpalmtree.com. There's a shop button right at the top of the blog page that if you click that, it will take you to the Stampin' Up! Site to be able to purchase these. So, okay, so that's it. Until next time, bye.